Oklahoma making some noise, not on the coordinator front, but on the position coach front. They're going to keep their running back coach, Demarco Murray, in Norman, Oklahoma. He is staying on the staff. Now, if you are not necessarily in tune with everything that's happened over the course of the last couple of days around Demarco Murray, let's get up to speed here together. Demarco Murray, been at Oklahoma for a long time, obviously went to Oklahoma, has had success as a recruiter and a running back coach in Norman, and I want to say it was during some time on, I guess it would have been Tuesday night, the rumors start circulating that Penn State is eyeing Demarco Murray to be their next running back coach in Happy Valley. Right along with that, it's reported that there's mutual interest, strong mutual interest, mind you, between Demarco Murray and Penn State. So I go to the boards, and I check out what the scoop is over there, pun intended, I suppose, on Soonerscoop.com, our Oklahoma On 3 site. I go check out the board, the Crimson Corner, and I was a little bit surprised with the, I guess, conversation being had on those boards. Because the conversation was, hey, listen, Demarco Murray, we appreciate you, but, like, we don't need you. Get out of town. That was kind of the sentiment. And at first, I was a little bit thrown off by that because I'm sitting here saying, okay, this is a guy who's one of y'all, like went to Oklahoma, had success at Oklahoma as a player, has had success, I would say, as a coach at Oklahoma. Why are we wanting this guy out of town? And the blanks began to fill in for me in regards to thinking back to last year. Remember, he was weighing the idea of going to Ohio State and being their running back coach, and ended up getting a nice little raise out of it from Oklahoma side of things. And so the folks at Oklahoma are saying, hey, listen, don't take us for a ride again. Don't get more money out of us. Now, obviously, with him coming back to Oklahoma, this is, I think, overall a positive for Oklahoma fans. I get that you don't love the way that it all transpired. I totally hear that. But Penn State fans on the other side, they were excited about this. Like James Franklin, to talk about the Nittany Lions for a second, they were excited even just, I think, by the attitude of this. Because think of what Penn State's done this entire offseason to this point. All they've done is have wins on the recruiting trail when it comes to re-recruiting their guys on the roster, bringing back a Drew Aller, bringing back both running backs. And they've also had success at the coordinator level, going and grabbing Jim Knowles from the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes, bringing them to Happy Valley, and going to play a team that, you know, he's going to play his old boss next year is Jim Knowles. Like, it wasn't like he pivoted away to get a head coaching job. He pivoted to have the same job at another school in the conference, which to me is just like, okay, James Franklin is playing ball. And going after DeMarco Murray felt the same way. Okay, he's playing ball. So that's kind of a scene setting for you of what was the conversation from a fan-based level for Penn State and Oklahoma. But here's what I would say to Oklahoma fans. Because the knock was, again, hey, he's getting some money from us. We don't love that he's potentially going to get more money from us here by leveraging it against another job. And there was also, I think, some folks in Oklahoma circles saying we weren't even that crazy about what he was as a coach. We didn't love the rotation, X, Y, and Z, whatever. Here's my thing. DeMarco Murray on the board was compared to a toxic spouse. Like, it's back and forth, it's not always good vibes, and you don't really know if this is something that's worth staying in. And so while that's, I think, a fair objection to have with the life cycle of this relationship between Oklahoma and DeMarco Murray, I say Oklahoma as a fan base rather than an outfit from a powers that be perspective. If you don't feel great about the current status with your significant other and you don't trust them here going forward, that's okay. That's your prerogative. But I would ask you, do you trust the person that you are seeking advice from? Do you trust your counselor? Because hopefully if things are toxic, you're going to a counselor. Do you trust Ben Arbuckle in this situation? Do you trust the direction of the offense? Do you trust John Mateer? Because as far as I can tell, DeMarco Murray, while he is the running back coach, there will be some cohesion and some collaboration between him and Ben Arbuckle. Like, I don't think anybody questions DeMarco Murray as a recruiter. I don't think you should, at least, given what he's done on the recruiting trail. But if you question him as a game day coach, well, now he's got someone else that I think provides some more oversight, some more expertise, and Ben Arbuckle is going to run the football in Norman. We said it during our breakdown of the offense. Like, in his time in Pullman, Ben Arbuckle ran the football 54% of the time a season ago and also threw the ball downfield a whole lot, averaging 9.6 yards a pass, besides the point. They're going to run the football. They're going to need DeMarco Murray all the way dialed into everything they want to do offensively out there in Norman. So Ben Arbuckle, being a guy that clearly now with DeMarco Murray deciding to stay in Norman, Oklahoma, giving a vote of confidence, I think that means something. Like, that was my biggest takeaway. money aside, like put that to the side for a second, because I think Penn State probably would have paid him well in general, in addition to this whole discussion around him staying at Penn State or going to Oklahoma, whatever. Like, money probably would have been good either way. But when you talk about Demarco Murray staying at Oklahoma and the idea now that he's going to be with a coordinator of a Ben Arbuckle, I think Penn State, given all they've done this offseason, it's not a question of how good they're going to be in 2025. Like, I fully expect, spoiler here, Penn State to be in the college football playoff. I expect them to be in the Big Ten title conversation. You don't have to squint to see what Penn State does in 2025. They're going to be good. So if DeMarco Murray didn't believe in Oklahoma and passed up on Penn State, what does that tell you about the belief in where he thinks Oklahoma is heading in 2025? Now, I get it. His alma mater, there's probably some emotion baked into that. I totally understand. I get it's probably complex to move from Norman, Oklahoma to a Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, a State College, Pennsylvania. I get that. But, like, I don't think that's nothing. Because if he thought Oklahoma was a sinking ship, I don't think he would have stuck around. So this tells me a lot about the direction that he believes Oklahoma is heading. Tells me a lot about his belief in Ben Arbuckle. Tells me a lot about his belief in John Mateer. Also, it's worth noting, going back to the Ohio State thing from a year ago where he passed on that job, I have to believe now DeMarco Murray, with as competitive as he probably is wired, with him having played in the NFL and him coaching now college football at the highest level in the SEC, like, yeah, he probably has a few competitive bones in his body. You don't think him seeing Ohio State win the national championship, you don't think maybe there was a thought or two that crossed his mind of, hey, that could have been me? Hey, I probably want to be on the mountaintop as well when it comes to what this world is in the college football landscape. I want to hoist a national championship trophy. All the things Penn State's doing right now, they're aligning with a national title kind of run. We'll see if that happens or not. But what I'm trying to say here is, again, Penn State's going to be very good. And he just passed up on a season ago where he could have gone and probably won a national title for himself. And Penn State, the way that they're aligning, hard to think that they won't at least be in that mix. So if he's passing up on Penn State in the way that they're going to look, it just continues to give this vote of confidence from someone on the inside of Norman, Oklahoma, of what Oklahoma is going to be here in 2025. So I don't mean to make too much of it, but keeping a good recruiter and keeping someone who believes in your staff now, your new staff offensively in Norman, with Ben Arbuckle and with John Kuzieski and with the John Mateer now playing quarterback for you, to see the inside and to want to double down and stay in Norman when you probably could have gotten a lot of money to go to Happy Valley, I think that means something, and I think that should be noted by not just Oklahoma fans, but college football fans in general as it pertains to what next season is going to look like.